Your home isn't extremely messy, but you still feel tired in it. You clean, yet it still feels heavy. You take a short break, and everything slowly slips back to how it was. That tired feeling doesn't come from one big pile of clutter. It comes from the small ignored corners that quietly build up, day after day, the spots you don't really see. The places you keep telling yourself you'll deal with later. This video isn't asking you to clean your entire home or reset everything at once. We're not chasing perfection. Instead, we're going to work one corner at a time, starting with the areas that are easy to overlook but create the most invisible clutter. Each part of this video focuses on one clear action, no complicated systems, no long explanations. You do it and you feel the difference right away. When clutter is handled in small contained spaces, your home starts to feel lighter without extra effort. It becomes easier to maintain because you're no longer fighting everything at once. If all you want is a home that feels easier to breathe in, just a little calmer each day, this is where you start. No pressure, no overwhelm. Just begin with the first corner and let that small shift do the rest. Now, the first thing I always start with is the corners. No one really looks at the corner of a room, the space under the bed, the low shelves you don't bend down to check very often. These are the places where things get pushed into because you can't see them anyway. Over time, those hidden piles are exactly what make a home feel heavy, even if everything else looks fine. This step is very simple. Pick one corner only, just one. Don't think about the rest of the house. Pull everything out of that spot so you can actually see what's there. Don't overthink it and don't start organizing yet. There's only one decision you need to make. Keep the items that have a clear, obvious place right now. If something doesn't have a home, hasn't been used in a long time, or is only sitting there because you didn't know where else to put it, it doesn't go back into that corner. You're not trying to be perfect here. You're just removing the things that don't belong. When that corner is empty or nearly empty again, something shifts. The room feels lighter even though you haven't cleaned the rest of the space. That's how much hidden clutter affects how a home feels. Now pause for a second and look around your place. Which corner have you been avoiding? Is it under the bed? The corner behind a chair? The lowest shelf in a room? Pick one and set a timer for 5 minutes. Do it right now if you can. Once you're done, notice how the space feels. Most people are surprised by how big the change feels compared to how small the action was. That's it for this step. Tomorrow, I'll be sharing more tips on how to eliminate bad habits that cause daily clutter. Now let's move on and try the next tip together to gather unused items in a way that keeps everything simple and contained. Next, after clearing that hidden corner, you'll notice something right away. There are still items you don't use often, but you're not ready to deal with them yet. This is where things usually start spreading again. So the next action is simple. Use one tray or one box to gather them. Just one. You're not organizing everything. You're not sorting deeply. You're only doing one thing, giving these items a clear boundary. When things don't have a boundary, they drift. They end up on tables, shelves, or floors because there's nowhere obvious to put them. A tray or a box solves that problem immediately. Here's how to do it. Choose a basic tray or box you already have. No labels, no matching sets. Place it in the same area you just worked on. Now put only the items you don't use regularly into that container. Cables you might need later. Random tools. Small things you kept just in case. Once the tray is full, you stop. If something doesn't fit, it doesn't belong there. This works because the container limits how much clutter you can keep. It quietly forces decisions later without pressure right now. And visually, the space feels calmer because loose items are no longer scattered. Even though the same objects are still there, your brain reads the space as more organized. Take a look around your home for a moment. Which items are currently floating without a place? Grab one tray or box and gather them now. Try it and notice how quickly the area feels more controlled. That's it for this step. Now let's move on and try the next tip to simplify areas you don't use very often. Then, once the loose items are contained, the next place to look is the areas you don't actually use that much, like the living room corners or the dining area when no one is eating. These spaces often look fine at first, but they quietly collect things because no one is really paying attention to them. The action here is very clear. Remove anything that isn't serving the main purpose of the space. That's it. You're not decorating, you're not styling, you're only asking one question. Do we actually use this here? For example, a dining table slowly turns into a drop zone for bags mail and random items because it's available. Or a living room shelf fills up with decor books no one reads and objects that don't get touched for months. The more items there are, the harder it feels to reset the space later. So don't overthink it. Pick a low-use area and clear it back to its core function. Here's how to do it. Stand in the space and choose one surface, only one table, one shelf, one sideboard. Remove anything that doesn't directly support how that area is meant to be used. If it's a dining area, keep only what helps you eat there. If it's a living room surface, keep only a few items that make the room comfortable, not busy. When these low-use spaces are simplified, the whole home feels calmer. They stop pulling clutter from other rooms, and they're much easier to reset when life gets busy again. Take a moment and think which area in your home is used the least but holds the most stuff. Try clearing just one surface there today and see how different the room feels. That's it for this step. Next, once you've removed extra items from those low-use areas, there's one small action that makes the space feel finished. Immediately wipe the surfaces you touch the most. Not deep cleaning, not scrubbing, just a quick wipe. Here's the focus tables, shelves, countertops, handles, and any surface your hands land on every day. These spots collect dust and fingerprints fast, and even when they look okay, they quietly add to that heavy feeling in the room. A clean surface changes how your brain reads the space almost instantly. The action is simple. Grab a cloth or wipe and choose one surface only. Wipe it once and move on. No back and forth, no perfection. You're not trying to make it shine. You're just removing the layer that makes everything feel dull and used. For example, wiping a table after you've cleared it makes the table feel intentional again, not temporary. Wiping a shelf makes the items left on it feel lighter and more spaced out. It's a small step, but it signals that the area is done, not halfway handled. This works because clean surfaces create a visual reset. Even if the rest of the house isn't perfect, that one clean spot gives you a sense of control. And once you feel that, it's much easier to keep going or stop without feeling frustrated. Pause for a second and look around. Which surface do you touch every day but rarely wipe? Pick one and do it now. It'll take less than a minute. Then notice how different the space feels right after. Then open a drawer or cabinet and you'll usually see the same problem. Everything technically fits, but nothing feels easy to use. That's because items are placed one by one instead of being treated as part of a group. So this step focuses on one shift only. Group similar things together. Don't reorganize the whole drawer. Don't buy dividers. Just empty one drawer and look at what's inside. You'll notice patterns right away, things that belong together but were separated over time. Writing tools mixed with random papers. Small tools mixed with unrelated items. The clutter isn't about quantity, it's about fragmentation. Here's the action. Put similar items into clear groups, then place each group back into the drawer. You're not arranging them perfectly, you're just making sure each type of item lives next to its own kind. That's it. This works because your brain remembers categories, not positions. When things are grouped, you stop digging. You stop rearranging every time you open the drawer. The space becomes predictable, which makes it much easier to keep tidy without thinking about it. Try this now. Think of a drawer you open often and still feel slightly annoyed by. Choose that one. Group the contents by purpose, not size. When you're done, open and close it once. Notice how much calmer it feels. That's all for this step. Now let's move on and try the next tip to place items based on how often you actually use them. There's a quiet reason clutter keeps coming back even after you organize. Things aren't where your hands expect them to be, so they get set down for now. And that's how piles start. This tip is about one adjustment only move items based on how often you actually use them. Forget where things should go. Think about what you reach for without thinking. Those items deserve the easiest spots. Eye level, front of the shelf, the first drawer you open. If you have to stretch, bend, or move something else to get it, that item is going to end up out of place later. Try this with one area, a cabinet, a drawer, a shelf. Take out the 3 things you use the most in that space. Put them back where your hand naturally goes first. Then move the rarely used items higher, lower, or farther back. No labels, no reorganization marathon, just one swap. You'll notice something right away. When frequently used items are easy to grab, you stop setting them down randomly. You stop leaving things out because returning them feels effortless. The space starts maintaining itself, not because you're trying harder, but because the layout finally matches real life. Here's a quick check you can do right now. Open a drawer you use every day. Which item do you touch first? Does it live in the easiest spot? If not, switch it with something you barely use. That's the whole move. This isn't about perfection or symmetry, it's about reducing friction. When your space works with you instead of against you, clutter loses its grip. Do this in one small area today and pay attention to how often things stay where they belong afterward. Next, some areas don't wait for permission to get messy. They reset themselves into clutter mode no matter how organized the rest of the house is. This tip is about catching those spots early and fast before they spread. Start with the entryway. This area absorbs whatever you bring home: bags, shoes, mail, keys. The action here is simple: only keep what belongs to today. Shoes you wore today stay. Bags you're using stay. Everything else gets moved out of this zone immediately. When the entryway stays light, clutter doesn't travel deeper into the house. Next, look at the kitchen. Not the whole kitchen, just the spot where groceries or items land when you come home. The rule is one move only: put new items into an existing group right away. Snacks join snacks. Pantry items go to the pantry. Nothing sits just for now. That pause is where mess starts. One decision now saves 10 later. Then check your work area. This space gets messy when things are mid-process. papers, notebooks, tools, chargers. The action here is not to finish everything, it's to gather active items into one visible stack or zone. One pile, one tray, one spot. When work in progress is contained, the rest of the space can breathe. You're not cleaning deeply, you're doing a quick reset across 3 high-risk areas. Each one takes a minute or 2. Together, they stop clutter from rebuilding overnight. Take a moment and ask yourself which of these 3 areas gets messy the fastest in your home. Start there today. Handle it once quickly and notice how much easier the rest of the space feels afterward. This step isn't about control, it's about timing. When you catch clutter early, it never gets loud. What you've done in this video isn't about cleaning more or trying harder. It's about changing how your home responds to daily life. Small focused actions like these don't just make things look better in the moment, they reduce how often mess shows up in the first place. And that's the part that actually matters. If you want this to last, the next step isn't another round of decluttering, it's paying attention. Notice which areas start getting messy again. Notice what you do right before that happens. Those patterns are never random. They're usually tied to habits that feel harmless because they happen every day. Tomorrow we're going to talk about those habits, the quiet ones that slowly undo all the effort you just made. Not the obvious stuff, but the small behaviors that seem normal, efficient, or convenient in the moment and create mess without you realizing it. So today, don't rush to fix anything else. Just observe. See what comes back. See where your space starts to struggle again. That's not failure, it's information. We'll use that clarity next time and break it down together, one habit at a time.